It is time for Around the 412 with Smitty and Tyler.
Welcome back to another episode of Around the 412. I am Tyler. With me, as always, is my co-host Smitty. Go follow us on all of our social medias at Around the 412 over on X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're everywhere. Find us at Around the 412. Also, go check us out on YouTube if you have not already. If you're not watching the show over there, we do post full episodes of the show as well as some clips of the show from time to time. And we do post some shorts recently as well. So go check us out over on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on some of the videos. It really helps us out. And go comment on us. Leave us some questions if you have any questions about the Pirates, since this is a Pirates episode, or if you have any questions about the Steelers or Penguins, if you're fans of those teams as well. Go check us out over on YouTube. Also, go subscribe to our listening platforms as well. Don't give them enough love, but if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to us, give us a follow there and give us some love on that as well. Like I mentioned, this is the Pirates episode, and I don't know if give myself a pat on the back is the right phrase I should be using, because obviously I wanted the Pirates to win more games than they did in the last week. But last week's episode, closing it out, I did say that I would take losing 2 out of 3 games to the Tampa Bay Rays if we won 2 out of 3 against the Cincinnati Reds. That is the case that happened. So maybe I don't want to necessarily give myself a pat on the back for being right just because I wish the Pirates would have won more games, but good shout by me in this past week. And also, we are recording while a game is actually being unfolded, because normally we don't record while games are happening. We don't record typically on days where games even happen at all. Sometimes we record on their off days, but we are recording on Friday night, and the Pirates, I don't know, have they technically lost yet, or they're about to. It's the bottom of the 8th right now. 6-0 against the Atlanta Braves. We mentioned there's something about playing in Atlanta that we hate. We don't know if it's just the mystery of around 1992 and that whole thing. Just it's like a haunted stadium now for the Pirates every time they visit. But don't love when they go to Atlanta. But we've got some games to talk about before they even got to Atlanta. So we can talk about Tampa Bay Rays series. They lose 2 out of 3. Pirates overall did not look good in that series. You didn't really have any offense going for you. I mean, you scored 4 runs in the game that you won, but they just didn't really have a lot of things going for them in that series.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that first game, you kind of get blown up. They give up 10 runs. Laginski, that was one game this season where Luis Ortiz did not look good. He bounced back in a big way, by the way, in his next appearance. But in that game, after Laginski opened, Ortiz goes 4 innings, gives up 10 hits, 6 runs in that time. Oddly enough, that's like, again, the way that he bounced back big. But you look at the next game, they win 4-3 on the 22nd. We knew that was going to happen. Andrew McCutchen, City Connect bobblehead day, Paul Skeens day. No chance they were losing that one. And then come back out and lay an egg. They had 3 hits in the series finale of this game, 2 of which were from Bryan Reynolds. They got 1 hit from the rest of the lineup in that Sunday game. And Colin Horderman finally let up. He pitched 1 inning, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, but like something like that bound to happen eventually at some point. Colin Horderman's been awesome all season. But like you mentioned, I actually thought it was going to be reversed. Don't get me wrong. If you're only going to win one of the series, would rather have it be against a divisional rival. But I thought they would take 2 from Tampa, and I just didn't like the way that they matched up with the Reds in Cincinnati. So I thought the Reds would get 2 of the 3 in Cincinnati. But to go 500 in that stretch against the Rays and Reds, not the worst thing in the world. The problem is now, Atlanta's been like kind of a house of horrors for Pittsburgh, as we mentioned, just do not like playing there. And then they got the Cardinals and a Mets team that is playing a lot better as of late. They're back to 500. So, big stretch coming up here for the Pirates. Doesn't look like they're going to pull out tonight, losing 6-0 already in the bottom of the 8th. Certainly need to get back on the horse tomorrow and find a way to win at least 1 game, if not 2, in the series with Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, by the time you guys are listening to this, Saturday night's result will already have happened, and then Sunday The game starts at, I think, 12:45. And so the podcast is going to be out during that game. So we'll see what the results are going to be. They need to improve upon that. Man, the offense is just pissing me off. The offense gets me so riled up about how mediocre so many of
these. Answer some questions about it.
It's so annoying watching a game like they had last Sunday against the Tampa Bay Rays. Paul Skeens is pitching. He lets up the single shot in the first inning, which is like a skip of a heartbeat for all Pirates fans. It's like, oh, how could that happen in the first inning?
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. You're right. Skeens pitched on Sunday. I had the days messed up there. Jared Jones was pitched on Saturday. I said it was Skeens Day. That was incorrect. They won the Jared Jones start on Saturday. The offense no-showed Paul Skeens start.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous that you are going to be throwing away a start from Paul Skeens on a Sunday where he comes out of the game, it's 1-1. The Pirates have every opportunity to win that game, or even had a lead going into or before he was even taken out, and they just throw it away. It drives me nuts watching this team offensively. It's very painful. And if it wasn't for their starting pitching, not only would they be worse in the standings, but they would be so much worse to watch. This starting pitching is the only reason that it is consistent about watching. That and play of late from guys like Bryan Reynolds and Andrew McCutchen, and coincidentally enough, Rowdy Tellez. I feel like every week,
what a month,
he's been really good for the past month. But besides that, you're not getting anything. Like, O'Neal Cruz, what are you doing here? What do you do here? Because you are a black hole offensively, and you should be one of the top 3 hitters on the team. That's like literally your whole job. We don't expect you to be the defense that Brian Hayes has. We are literally wanting you to just be offense, and you are letting us all down. I don't know what is wrong with O'Neal Cruz, and I'm not trying to just single him out. But he's the one to me that from where he is as far as expectation to the output you're actually getting from him, that is the biggest disappointment of the season by far, is watching him on the plate, because he has been terrible offensively. He occasionally will come in clutch with a homer in some situations, but he's not hitting enough homers on the season to make his average and on-base percentage more palpable. And his average has just been awful. He's barely hitting his weight. Actually, for how tall he is, I don't even know if he's hitting his weight. So O'Neal Cruz, that's the one I have to gripe with as far as just the singling someone out. But the offense, I mean, literally batters 5 through 9 have just been terrible for, I mean, the whole season, but this recent stretch has just been bad. They're struggling to get anything out of these guys.
I want to ask you how you feel about something. The catcher spot, we've talked a lot about. We don't know when Joey Bart's going to be coming back. Obviously, Henry Davis coming back from the concussion. Yasmani Grandal is up here right now. Jason DeLay, though, I feel like when he gets an opportunity, always seems to come through. I'm almost of the mindset that whenever Bart or Davis come back, I'm probably, and I don't expect the team to do this, I'm probably moving on from Grandal at that point and rolling with Jason DeLay as your backup.
Another guy that could single out on. Grandal is not just painful to watch. He aggravates me because he does not give a crap about baseball. Some of the effort that he has on some of his plays drives me nuts. The reason that infamous, was it Jared Jones start where he just like throws the ball lackadaisically back to it drove me nuts. And his effort behind the plate sometimes, like, I want Grandal out of here. I thought it was a fine acquisition at the time, like for depth purposes, but I do not want him playing regularly at all.
Sure. Yeah. Hopefully we see Bryan Reynolds getting at bat in this last inning here, and he can find a way to get on. He did get a hit. Bryan Reynolds did extend his hit streak, so there was one good thing to come of tonight's game. Extends his hit streak to 24 games. But that's honestly, I just wanted to bring that up real quick, because if you look at the splits over the last 7 days, and he's also one of only 2 guys that have gotten 20 at-bats over those 2. So, when you talk about that lack of consistency, like Connor Joe only has 5 at-bats over 3 games in the last week. just not playing a whole lot.
Yeah.
Edward Olivares has been playing some more against righties, which I don't necessarily disagree with, especially when you've gotten what you've gotten from Jack Sawinski. But that kind of leads into, our questions that we're going to get to here, because I think that this definitely plays a role into our answers. What position would you most like the Pirates to attempt to upgrade, and who would you most like to see versus who you think they'll realistically target? Asked Tyler Hernley. It's outfield, right? I mean, whether it's center field or right field, even if it's a left fielder, then you're shifting Bryan Reynolds back to center, which again, I don't think that they would ideally like to do. I think that they feel like they found his home in left field. It's got to be an outfielder. JJ Bleday, I think from the A's makes a ton of sense. You've mentioned same team, Brent Rooker. Do you swing big for Luis Robert and just assume that he's going to be a better player than what he has been this year? I mean, certainly the extra base power has been there, not hitting for a ton of average.
Stats. I did not know he was batting like 200 on the season.
Right. So, imagine the Pirates acquire that guy, the conversations that people would, like, if he was already on the Pirates going into the season and having that type of season, the conversation that people would be having. And I'm somebody that is completely fine with acquiring Luis Robert because I think he's a better player than that. Mm-hmm. But I'm just thinking how funny it is to think this is the guy we're clamoring for in the conversation many would be having if he was already on the team producing the way that he has for that team. People have talked about Vlad Guerrero Jr. Actually, let's just bring into that other question right now because Matt said thoughts on the Pirates linked to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Ben Sherrington obviously has the history going back to Toronto with Vlad Guerrero Jr. He has 1 year left of his contract. Do we think that he's going to re-sign, like any chance to re-sign with the Pirates? Or are you giving that up? What are you giving up for a rental Vlad Guerrero Jr.? Because I don't even know if I want the Pirates to be part of that conversation.
I mean, are you giving up Bubba Chandler for Vlad Guerrero Jr.? I'm not saying you specifically if you would give him up, but like I feel like that's probably an asset that you look at. If you're going to be swinging for the fences for a guy like Vlad Guerrero Jr., you got to expect a prospect of the likes of Bubba Chandler to be gone.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not. I hope that they're not. I don't think that that's in that is a guy like Bubba Chandler gives you the ability, if you are willing to part with him, willing to be players for pretty much anybody that's available, in my opinion, at the deadline here. I'm not going to label him as like untouchable. I hate when people and teams do that because to me as a prospect, this is probably the best time to strike while the iron is hot with a guy like that. If they keep him, great. I think that he can certainly be a big piece of the rotation going forward. But, for the right price, for the right player, I'm certainly willing to trade Bubba Chandler. I just don't think a rental Vlad Guerrero Jr. is that guy.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't want Bubba Chandler touched for a rental. I think that would be a foolish move, in my opinion, especially because for a fact the Pirates are not going to be able to pay Vlad Guerrero Jr. what he's going to get. There's no way that contract is coming from them. So as much as I would like to see Vlad Guerrero Jr. in a Pirates uniform, there's no way it's ever going to happen because they're not going to pay him that contract. And if they're stupid enough to give up the assets for a rental, then they better win something. They better, like, I don't think Vlad Guerrero Jr. makes your team all that better overall. I think that's one piece, but the issues with the team aren't going to be coming from what Vlad Guerrero Jr. would replace. The issues with the team, especially right now, and are coming from positions like you just mentioned, the outfield. The outfield, to answer the other question, I agree with you. That is the one position you look at. You cannot continue to throw out Jack Sawinski every single day. You cannot continue to question if 2 out of 3 of your outfielders should even be in the lineup from a day-to-day basis. Yep. That's where the team needs to improve. And then I still think that they can improve in the bullpen too. Adding an arm there, that would be obvious. But when you just look at the lineup by itself and looking at the hitters, the outfield is the clear problem. They've got some problems other places. But I actually like the idea of Jason DeLay.
Pirates didn't get shut out, by the way.
They did get shut out?
They didn't. Brian Hayes, the RBI double Connor Joe.
Dude, we are finding out live that the Pirates did not get shut out on Friday night.
And it's big that it was Brian and Connor Joe teaming up to provide the run. If that can, honestly, even if they lose, if those guys both get going, that's the most positive thing that could come out of this game.
And that's what I'm saying too, because like I think Jason DeLay, if he can take over as like more of your full time starter at catcher, I'd be fine with that. Like catcher to me is just kind of like
even over Bart or Davis.
I mean, depends on the consistency. If DeLay's going to give you more consistency, I'm going to say yes. I don't really care who it is. I just want the better player out there.
Yeah. See, I honestly, it's funny because I think you could almost relate this conversation back to how we feel about the Steelers quarterbacks. I want Henry Davis playing every day just because I don't like, you got to find out. And I'm willing to give him more time to develop. So, like, even if he's not good right now, I just think that he has to continue to play once he's ready to play. So I would be totally fine with a tandem of him and DeLay or, him and Bart, whatever it might be. But I think Henry Davis has to
at the
play.
same time, if Andy Rodriguez comes back next year and is perfectly fine, is Henry Davis even playing catcher?
You're right. I don't know.
That's the I don't know what position Henry Davis is at the MLB level. So that's another thing where if I'm just looking at this year alone, I want the better catcher there. And then your infield, it's pretty much chalk who's playing in the infield, I feel like, at this point. And with the resurgence of Rowdy Tellez, I would have said first baseman, go find a first baseman. But the way Rowdy Tellez has been playing, if he can find, I don't think he needs to necessarily stay like this hot for this month. But if he can be a consistent player and not the player he was from April to May, I would be fine with him as the first baseman for the team. What you can't do is continue to throw out the outfield the way you have been, because you're basically putting them out there for defensive purposes only, and you're getting nothing from the bats. It's basically the inverse of what you would be doing if Andrew McCutchen was still in the field instead of DHing, and you would be throwing him out there for his bat and not the defense. It's just the inverse of that. I think that they have to add an outfielder if they're serious about contending, because that is the clear-cut space and the easiest replacement position that you can get in the trade market.
Yeah. I mean, that's what, like, even with the names that are available that we've talked about, how many of them are outfielders? Like, it seems like the majority of the players that are available are outfielders. It's outfielders and bullpen arms. That seems to be like what is available right now. JJ Bleday, Brent Rooker, Jazz Chisholm, Luis Robert. Like, most of the guys that we're talking about in this conversation are outfielders. So it kind of lines up with what the Pirates need as well. Came out today, John Heyman put out there that the Pirates are telling teams that they're willing to trade pitching for major league bats. I just don't know where else they are if it's not the outfield.
I don't either. I don't see a position where you say like you need to replace this guy. Like, you're not going to replace.
I mean, despite what he's done for the better part of this month, maybe too little, too late from Rowdy. Would they be looking at first base?
They could, but for the comments that you got from Ben Sherrington about Rowdy Tellez too, I don't know if that's necessarily something that he's interested in. And so I look at like the way their lineup's constructed right now. Put whoever you want in catcher. We're not even worried about catcher. They're not going to add a catcher. I think they have too many people in the room already for catcher. They're just going to deal with.
They have like four.
They have in house.
They have like 4 decent backup catchers right now.
Yeah, like I don't think they're going to trade for a good one. I think they're just going to deal with the position with what they have right now. And then you look at like third base. Brian Hayes is not going anywhere out of the lineup. O'Neal Cruz is not going anywhere out of the lineup. It's short. As of right now, I would think that Nick Gonzalez is going to be your second baseman of the future for the season right now. So that's pretty much stuck. And let's say, just for example, like Rowdy Tellez, we just talked about him. If Ben Sherrington's comments are true and he likes the way he's been playing and he plays at a more consistent rate, I don't see them going out and getting first baseman. Bryan Reynolds is the only outfielder night in and night out that you're getting consistency from with your bat and defense together. Otherwise, it's just one of the two with the other, and it's never offense. It's only ever defense. And so if you're going to continue to play Jack Sawinski and say that is going to help your team win, you're fooling yourself. You need to go add an outfielder.
what's so impressive to me about what Reynolds has done this year is he's basically having the year that I thought he would, but he's doing it without anybody else in the lineup really producing. Like, you would think to have a season like this, you'd need to have guys giving him like the lineup protection, but he doesn't. Like, he's doing this pretty much on his own. Like, there's no reason for teams to not pitch around him, I should say, because it's not like the guys in front of him or behind him are causing all that much damage. So teams have no reason to pitch to him, yet he's still having the season that he's having, largely because of what he's done in the month of June, really raising the stock. But man, what a month. Hope it continues obviously in July. Maybe we'll get July Andrew McCutchen as well. And yeah, they need, more guys to join in on this and hopefully get a bat or two in the process.
Yeah, Bryan Reynolds in the month of June has had 38 hits, 15 runs, 6 home runs, 19 RBIs. He's walked 6 times, struck out 34 times, but let's just skip over that. I don't know if that's good or bad. He has stolen 1 base. His average is 311. His on base is 358, and he's slugging 533.
Yeah. Crazy. What a month for Bryan Reynolds. Unfortunately, there's only a couple days left in it. So like I said, hopefully it's not just the month of June and he just continues to rake because the team absolutely needs it. I'd be interested to know, who you guys are thinking about. But like, it's so hard because again, we're talking about like 5 or 6 teams right now that we think are going to be selling at the deadline, which is only going to raise those prices. When you have that many buyers, that few sellers, who knows what the prices are even going to be.
Well, then let us know. Let us know in the comments who you want to see the Pirates to go out and get free agency. Is it an outfielder? Is it a different position? If you have specific players in mind that you want, let us know who you want them to get, and preferably besides Luis Robert, because I'm sure that's going to be the answer for a lot of you. But if you want Luis Robert, comment that as well. I mean, that's perfectly fine too.
22 minutes into this thing, and you know what I just realized?
No ads.
Nope. No ads. So sorry to our sponsors, Game Changers, Keats Barbershop, and Everything Custom Designs. The links are always in the description. That doesn't change. Those are there for the entire episode. But now in succession, I'm just going to, we're just going to send it. We're going to rip off all 3. You guys are going to get to see the ads for all 3. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? Smitty from Around the 412, and I just want to take a quick second to give a shout out to our folks at Game Changers. Their logo on the screen right now, right above my microphone. Over 2,000 different designs in their catalog. Luxury heavyweight material. I am wearing one of their shirts right now. Best vintage t-shirts in the game. Head over to gamechanger.la or pick6.la to pick up some shirts. And guess what? Use code AT412. Save yourself $10 on your order every single time. Again, gamechanger.la or pick6.la. Best vintage t-shirts in the game. Check them out. All right, there's one. Do you know what happens here is just way too much fun talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's it.
How can you not get lost in the sauce? Sue me. Honestly, they might actually sue me for not playing the ad within the first 10 minutes. But either way, that was Game Changers. Let's talk about Keats Barbershop a bit. Smitty from Around the 412 here, and while I may not have much hair, the hair that I do have will not be cut by anybody besides Keat at Keats Barbershop. My friend Christian Circle, been with us since day one. Keats Barbershop, located 401 Burkitch Way, Suite 2 in Beaver, PA. Download the app The Cut, book an appointment with Christian today, or you can do walk-in with Tony or Ashley. But again, Keats Barbershop, 401 Burkitch Way, Suite 2 in Beaver, PA. Go check them out. Old school vibe in there. Absolutely love it. Cannot recommend them enough. Wouldn't go anywhere else. Maybe I'll see you there. And lastly, but not last, Everything Custom Designs, our friend Haley Wagner, small business. Recently, she has gotten the ability to do hats. So I don't know if they're on sale yet, but in the very near future, we will have Around the 412 hats. We also recently came out with some new designs of our t-shirts that are there. The link is definitely in the description for those. And I'll have to put our shorts as well. Recently got Around the 412 shorts, double-sided, come in black, gray, and white. The link will be down there for those as well. But anyways, Everything Custom Designs. Smitty, take it away. Need a custom t-shirt, hoodie, tumbler, Stop what you're doing. Don't go anywhere else. Check out the link in the description. Everything Custom Designs. Our friend Haley Wagner, small business. She can do all that for you. She even does Around the 412 merch, t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve tees, bunch of different stuff. I even got a tumbler from her as well. So go check out the link in the description. Goes directly to her Facebook page. All of her stuff can be found there. Again, Everything Custom Designs. Haley Wagner. She does great work. Can't recommend her enough. Go check it out. Great stuff. And you know what I know for a fact is nobody watched or listened to those. Like, they got to the point where they heard me say that the rest of the show was just going to be me playing 3 ads, and they're like, why would I watch or listen to this? So,
But if you're still here, let us know. Let us
you're
know
still
down below.
here, let us know. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave us a 5-star review, and subscribe if you're listening on a listening platform, Apple, Spotify, wherever your podcast from. You can find us there. Just search Around the 412 and do that for us. Follow us everywhere. Twitter, which is now called something else, X, I guess. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you can find us. Just search Around the 412. We will be there. Even Threads, I guess. Nothing's going to happen on there, but we are there, I guess. Nothing gets posted on it. But anyways, for Tyler, for Smitty, this has been the Around the 412 Pirates show. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.